1974 was a new era in politics for the Northern Territory, with the move from a legislative council to a fully elected legislative assembly. We gained more independence and a greater say in our own affairs. It was at this time that the Northern Territory's own political party was created, the Country Liberal Party. The Darwin branch can trace its birth back almost another decade. It had its beginnings as a branch of the Country Party in 1966. The first time the official minutes record the Darwin branch of the Northern Territory Country Liberal Party is November 6, 1974. In 1999, we now celebrate a quarter of a century of the founding of the CLP, a quarter of a century in government, and the 25th birthday of the Darwin branch. But let's go back to the start, as Gough Letts shares with us the real story of how the CLP was founded.
What actually happened was that they had this crazy minister for Northern Territory called Kep Enderby, and he was really strange. He was a radical left-wing, sort of came from that direction, and in the middle of 1973, while he was still minister, he announced that he was going to announced in the federal parliament he's going to institute first past the post voting in the territory. July 1973, that I was at the Adelaide River races. I was in the Adelaide River Hotel, and somebody in there told me that Tom had been actively campaigning around the area to get some recruits for the Liberal Party. I went to the races where Tom was on the committee, and I was also on the committee. I think I was vice president or something for Adelaide River Show Society. On the way home from Adelaide River, coming home late at night, I ran off the road, rolled a Toyota over and finished up, woke up in the Darwin Hospital the next day. So I'm stuck there in the hospital, and who should be sort of doing the rounds and looking after me at that stage but Ella Stack, Tom Lawler's wife, Dr. Stack. She was still working at the Darwin Hospital. So when Ella came round, I said, Ella, I've been thinking about this, I was lying there and thought, now if the Liberals go their way and we go out and the Country Party goes its way. So I said to Ella, could you get Tom to come in and see me? And Tom turned up, a few hours later, I think, and sat down by the bed. And we talked about it in those terms, that if it was going to be first past the post, it was really only one way for us to handle it, and that was to sort of get together if we could. And he could see the sense of that. So when I got out of hospital, the process started. And so we started a series of meetings that were between the Liberal group that had been thinking of forming and the local Country Party people up here. And most of those meetings were held in Alf Hooper's office out at Cornelly. So I don't know how many times or what records might have been kept, but I would guess that we probably met 7 or 8 times at around about 3 weekly to a month intervals, and each time there were some new points raised and some debates, and that we finally got it to the point where it was agreed that at the annual conference we would try and formalise the matter. And Paul Everingham, who hadn't been part of the earlier discussions, he came along and sat as an observer.
So next time you're at the Territory's oldest race meeting at Adelaide River, think back to that account of how it was 25 years ago. Of course, this was only the beginning, and the election of 1974 set the base for the next 25 years. Let's now hear from the players at that time, John Waters of the ALP and Alf Hooper, the first CLP president.
Mr. Hooper, you must be a very happy man today.
Yes, we're very pleased. I'm very happy with the results of yesterday's election. We were confident of getting a majority prior to the election. We've got that majority. Late last week I forecast we'd win 11 seats. It's clearly indicated to us now that we will win 11 seats. In fact, we may even win more than 11 seats.
You must be surprised at the enormity of the swing against the Labor Party. What do you think it's been attributed to?
Well, I think generally that the electorate have supported our campaign for more local autonomy. I believe that the people are fed up with the mismanagement of the Socialist Labor government in Canberra. There's too much uncertainty of our economy and the future of this country, and people are fed up with it.
It was a swing against the government in Canberra. I don't think we can deny that. My greatest regret really is that the beneficiaries of this swing against Canberra were a fairly mean-spirited group of people that really are not going to help us a lot up here. That's the thing that upsets me most. I feel that with this particular group, and there will be at least 16 or 17 of them by the look of it, the working people and the public servants, the poor and Aborigines and so on are going to be in for a hard time. That's the regret, but it's a warning signal for Mr. Whitlam. He's obviously got to come up with some answers, but as I said to you before, I'd like people to say, well, can the others do any better than Mr. Whitlam? I'd ask them to think about that.
Will the Legislative Assembly be able to work with only a total opposition?
No, it won't work effectively, I'm afraid to say. Not without Labor support in there.
Labor still hasn't come to grips with reality, laying the blame elsewhere for all its failure. It started mocking the CLP government before it got started, and it hasn't stopped since. The CLP government, on the other hand, has continued to work hard to make the Territory what it is today. Many of the policies and aspirations of that first campaign speech given by Gough Letts have been fulfilled or are well on track. This is due to the initiatives and the policies of a quarter of a century of responsible, stable CLP government. From the devastation of Cyclone Tracy and the reconstruction of Darwin, to self-government and the push for statehood to achieve equal status with other Australians. Through it all, the CLP has been the driving force and guiding hand. Advancement for all Territorians has come through CLP government initiatives like tourism infrastructure, the Northern Territory University, the wildlife parks, sport and recreation facilities, the gas pipeline, mining, offshore gas and petroleum exploration, the East Arm port development, and of course more recently the commitment to build the Alice to Darwin Railway. As we celebrate the first quarter century, let's draw on the achievements of the past as we plan for the future. As a visionary party, we must continue to develop new initiatives for the next 25 years, and we must safeguard what we already have achieved. Here are a few messages from some of those who helped shape the past and some words of wisdom for the future.
Yeah, well, I look back with the greatest affection on the people that I worked with in the party, both as the Country Party in the old Legislative Council days and then in the Country Liberal Party. They were good people who had the genuine interest of the Territory at heart, prepared to work virtually for peanuts at the time in the first instance to achieve what was my principal aim, and that was to advance the cause of self-government. Now, we have gone a long way down that track, and I'd just like to congratulate the party on the successes that it's had over the 25 years and to wish it all the best for the next 25 years and into the future.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to the members and guests of the Darwin branch of the CLP. 25 years is a long time, but it's been an exciting period. When we first started after self-government in the Territory, there was a hell of a lot to be done. We didn't have a lot of the services that people in the Territory now take for granted. For instance, we were still fighting with the Commonwealth for provision of adequate telephone and communication services, overseas travel. Darwin, after the cyclone, was left, I think, without any international flights. We had to build all that up again. We had to build the Territory and get rid of the dead hand of Canberra. We had to get mining going, tourism, so many other things. We built the Ayers Rock Tourist Village, the town of Jabiru. We started Palmerston, and people now can take all that for granted. It just wasn't there in 1974, or for that matter in 1978. I think a lot's been done in 25 years, and a lot of credit is due to a lot of people involved with the CLP. It's interesting to wonder what it will be like 25 years from now. I'd certainly like, and I hope I will be around to see it. All the best to all of you, and always remember the CLP is the Territory's own party, and stick to the true needs and aspirations of Territorians. Bye.
25 years ago, I didn't think I would be sitting here. But it's great to send all of you, particularly those that have shared the 25 years with me in the CLP, a special greeting on this day, and perhaps think a little bit about the future. When I was 31, I had dark black hair, a couple of little kids round my ankles, and Darwin was a very different place, a very small town, very relaxed, and certainly not the sophisticated commercial community we know it today, and even not as multicultural. So looking back on 25 years, I just immediately recap the events of the Darwin Reconstruction Commission rebuilding. I think about self-government and everything that flowed from that and how great it was, and the fact that the CLP for that whole 25 years has been the constant brother in the water. Okay, so if I look 25 years ahead from now, what would I prophesy? Let me prophesy a bridge across Darwin Harbour, and let me think about the fact that there will be thousands and thousands of Territory families with 5 or 6 generations living in the one community. Imagine the spirit in the childcare centres right through to what will not just be the Northern Territory University, but will probably be 3 or 4 universities in our community in that time. It'll be a great place to live, and I'm looking forward to enjoying all of that next 25 years with you.
This evening, as we look back over the last 25 years, I ask you all to think of 2024 and where we want to be then.
We're celebrating the 25 years anniversary at the Darwin branch of the CLP of the RSL, and it's good to be able to say that you're here, and I mean that in more ways than one, because some of us have terminated and gone to better places in the sky. Just keep going there, Gary. I didn't believe when I first got into politics that the path would be so interesting and so diverse. I started off as a young fellow around Darwin, which is fairly primitive and isolated in those days, and to graduate into politics at a time when there was an opportunity to get something done and to do something for your area, our territory, was a great privilege and a time that I enjoyed immensely. I haven't regretted a single moment of it, and I do hope that I've been able to achieve some things, having had a good knowledge of the Northern Territory, right across the Northern Territory in my working life, as a stockman, a stock inspector, an insurance agent, and it gave me great pleasure to be able to lead the Country Liberal Party into some areas in the bush, and to be able to work in the bush on a number of assignments that were particularly dear to my heart. It was a great privilege to be the founder of the Gregory National Park, to be the first Minister ever of Tourism, and to generally work with a go-forward and a go-ahead cabinet that got things done in the Northern Territory. Thank you, it's a great pleasure to be here tonight.
Hi, I'm Terry Foster and I'm Secretary of this branch, and in 25 years' time I'm not going to be Secretary of this branch, so all the very best to you and particularly the Secretary.
Hello, I'm Pam Fitton and I've been a Darwin branch member for 10 years, although I've just transferred tonight. Terry and I formed a lovely singing group called the Fallen Angels. We were spectacularly successful for the past 3 Christmases, however, we've just decided to retire. All the best. Hopefully we'll be 70 years of age and see you in 25 years' time.
That's my name. Hello. Greetings in 2024. I hope it's still as good as it is now.
Greetings for 2024. I hope you enjoy watching this video as much as we enjoyed watching the 1974 one.
What do you want to know?
You got to
Charlie, I'm the General Secretary, and I'm glad to be here after 25 years, and I hope we're here in the next 25 years, me particularly. Thanks, Gary.
Hi, Lavinia Archibald, Deputy Chairman. We'll definitely be here in 25 years. Hopefully.
Suzanne Kavanagh, President in 1970, no, hang on, please. No, sorry, 1999. I hope I'm here in 25 years' time as well. Even if I'm not as young as I look today, my spirit will not have diminished in any respect towards the CLP.
And good evening to my son, Sam, Chief Minister of the Northern Territory. Good to see you've achieved what you did. No, I seriously, I hope that I certainly hope I'm here to see the next 25 years and one of the elder statesmen that can reflect on the achievements of CLP over the next 25 years. All the best.
Well, I hope you guys are having as good a time in 25 years as we're having in 1999, celebrating our 25 years from the beginning. And this is George.
And I hope you have a lifestyle like we do now too. We have a lifestyle this is great.
You'll be doing really well if you've got a lifestyle like we've got.
Hello, in 2024 from Port Darwin branch. Sue Carter.
Still be around, you'll still be a local member.
Taz. And Dennis. Because they won't.
Congratulations. Obviously in 25 years' time, the responsible drinking programs that the Northern Territory Government would have worked, and we won't be seeing people like this standing around a bar. So good luck. This is what it was like in the old times.
Thank you, Mr. Crowe, to wave one day B. Never know.
Thanks for putting that one on this.
25 years, see if I'm right.
Boring.
Okay, here we are, a couple of generations of the girls. That's right. And we're doing it now, girls. 2024, the place will be dominated by us.
Who's our newest member?
I am the newest member. See you in 25 years.
Best official branch report.
Happy 50th birthday. It's 1999 and we're celebrating 25 years of CLP, and hopefully you'll be celebrating the 50th anniversary and 50 years to go. Cheerio.
Hello, my name is Avi. Happy 50th birthday. We've just had our 25th today, and I hope that you get this message in 25 years' times.
It's